my name is Stephanie and today we'll be making fudge, which is essentially one of the two most common finely crystalline candies with the purpose to dissolve with a rich dark chocolate flavor on the tongue. Let's get started. So here are all the required ingredients we'll be making with the fudge, and it's essentially fondant with added milk, fat, and occasionally chocolate solids, but in this recipe we'll be replacing it with cocoa powder. So what we'll need is 2 cups of white sugar, half a cup of cocoa powder, 1 cup of milk, 4 tablespoons of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Let's get started. So the first step would be greasing a baking pan. I would recommend a square pan since it would make the cutting progress a lot more easier in the end. And here I'm using a 9x9 circle pan, so we're going to evenly coat it with butter, just so that the fudge doesn't stick to it during the cooling process, and it would make it easier to put onto a plate. After putting our greased pan aside, we will be mixing the other ingredients. We will combine 2 cups of sugar, the half cup of cocoa, and 1 cup of milk in a medium saucepan. It's best to put the ingredients in the order of sugar, cocoa powder, and milk. I did the complete opposite, and as you can see while stirring, I had a little bit difficulty, so it's best to put the milk in last. While stirring to blend, we're going to bring it to a boil. That way we can dissolve all the sugar crystals. Keep note that before the fudge even boils, I'm constantly stirring the fudge. Since this recipe requires milk, stirring will keep the mixture from curdling. Once the fudge is at a boiling point, we will reduce the heat and simmer. We will not stir again. I repeat, we will not be stirring again. Placing a candy thermometer in the pan, cook until the fudge reaches the temperature of 238 degrees Fahrenheit. It's important to not surpass this temperature, as the fudge will become too firm to bite. If you're not using a thermometer, like myself, cook until a drop of this mixture in cold water forms into a ball. Make sure to really feel the ball with your fingers to make sure that it is the right consistency. It should flatten when pressed between your fingers. Consistency should be not too soft, but also not too hard. Once the consistency feels correct, we will be removing the saucepan from the heat. Then we'll continue to add our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and the 4 tablespoons of butter. For the following process, it's important to use a wooden spoon to beat the fudge. This is because the wood is a poor conductor of the heat, and the handle will stay comfortably cool while you're working with the hot substance. It's important to be extremely patient with this process as it will take some time. Remember, we will be beating the fudge until it loses its sheen and glossy texture. It's important to not underbeat the fudge, as this is a necessary process for the crystallization to be complete. Stirring controls the size of the sugar crystals that are being formed and keeps the fudge from getting grainy. Once it's properly beat, we will pour it into the prepared pan from earlier. We'll then let it cool for about 2 hours. Once properly cooled, we can take it out of the freezer and cut it into squared pieces. And ta-da! You have delicious fudge yummy treats. Perfect to share with your friends too.